More now on the big developing story this morning. Louisville is preparing for more protests in response to a grand jury announcement in the police shooting of Breonna Taylor. One officer will be charged, but not for her death. Reporter Nadia Romero joins us live from Louisville. Nadia, good morning. Nadia, we understand 2 officers were shot during last night's protest and a suspect is in custody. What can you tell us about that situation?
Good morning, Mary Bell. Well, we're getting limited details from Louisville Metro Police Department about those 2 officers. So we know they were shot yesterday before curfew and away from the main protesters who were out following the announcement of the indictment of the 1 out of the 3 officers involved in the raid at Breonna Taylor's apartment back on March 13th. So we know that 2 officers are in the hospital this morning in stable condition, but still trying to get more details about the suspect, the officers, and the circumstances around that shooting. Was it connected to the protest, or was it completely separate from what was happening during that reaction to Breonna Taylor? Maribel?
And Nadia, police have been bracing for violence all week. What can you tell us about what they're doing across the city?
Yeah, so we have seen the city really preparing for this announcement, which had a lot of people who were supporting Breonna Taylor, a lot of her family members, her attorney, believing that the justice would not be served because the police department and the state and the city was really preparing for this indictment by boarding up most of the city, by putting up barricades, by calling in National Guard and federal law enforcement days before the announcement was made yesterday. And so that's what they were preparing for. They knew that people would gather right here. This is Jefferson Square Park. This is where there's been a growing memorial for Breonna Taylor since March 13th, since really people learned about what happened to her the day that she was killed by police. And so people gathered here when they heard that announcement, and many people erupted in anger and in tears. People were very emotional, and that continues throughout the night this morning and will likely continue tonight. We're expecting even more protests for people to come out as they learn of this news. They learn of the indictment. They learn that only one of the officers was in charge, that there were no manslaughter or murder charges, that this is simply a wanted endangerment charge. And we're expecting even more people to come out to the streets of Louisville tonight. Maribel?
All right, Nadia, thank you. Nadia Romero live from Louisville, Kentucky.